Death Stranding is a game that was announced E3 2016 by the Kojima Productions, and there's not much we know about it besides the fact that there is Norman Reedus, a baby, and a whole bunch of dead crabs. But we do actually know a whole bunch about the game. So, Death Stranding, if we go to Wikipedia, it's a phenomenon in which cetacean fucking sea life, they go out onto land and they die due to hydration, or they collapse under their own weight, or they like drown when the high tide covers their blowhole. This is all very, very fun themes to go on. So as we see in the trailer, there are a ton of crabs that go onto the beach, and we see Norman Reedus on the beach connected to a baby of some kind. So what does that mean? Norman Reedus has a kid. Okay, we're looking at potential co-op. Okay, we're looking at the first ever baby co-op, excluding those Imagine Babies games. But the metaphors and the similes go even deeper, okay? Now we have Norman Reedus gets up, he's covered in like weird black goop as the baby draws like shadow hands on him like it's a shitty fucking post-mortem finger painting class. That's a really fun sight, imagining a kindergarten class full of dead kids painting. He sees this black substance on his hand, he gets up, he walks out, and what do we see on the ocean? We see a bunch of whales connected to their babies, and they're all beached and they're all dead. What does this mean? This means that we're not actually going to control Norman Reedus, the character. It turns out that Norman Reedus is probably the spirit human of a whale, a real live actual whale. Yeah, so hot new scoop for Death Stranding. The game is actually going to take place in the water for most of it, and we will play as Norman Whaleless. And we're going to be able to swim through the ocean, meet all the crabs that beach themselves. And the reason we saw all those fish out on the beach before the whales is because what do whales eat but a shitload of fish? All of these fish that are on the ocean are probably the stomached beach remainings of Norman Whaleless. Norman Whaleless, now waking up in his spirit human form in like limbo, sees all those that have come before him and sees these 5 weird floaty dudes. And obviously this is where Norman Whaless's life comes into play. He's in limbo now. He needs to figure out his whale emotions. What sins did he commit in the past? What we don't find out until we actually play is that Norman Whaless was a free whale at one point. We get to swim around in the ocean, get to find Nemo from time to time, maybe side quests to find Dory. And at some point, Norman Whaless gets captured. By who? We don't know just yet. But he's going to get captured, most likely get taken to SeaWorld, right? And in captivity, he will get pregnant with a sea whale baby. That's what the umbilical cord and the scarring's for. We find out that the pregnancy doesn't go too well. It's a case of like mishandling on the marine aquatic life workers, and he ends up losing the child. That's why the scars are there. That's why he's crying. He's so torn apart. His whale baby was killed and ripped from him, and that's what sends him on a murderous whale rampage through SeaWorld. And like when I say rampage, I don't mean this whale jumped out onto 2 flippers and suddenly started just rolling down hills to crush cities. This isn't fucking Katamari whaleomacy, okay? This is Death Stranding. It's serious, okay? It's much more realistic than that, all right? So Norman Whaless, over time, he's gonna be attacking the SeaWorld workers. Like, we're gonna have like a terrible fucking Blackfish situation here, all right? So these 5 like beings that we saw in the sky that eventually fly away are the souls of those like 5 people that Norman Whaless has killed. They are the tortured souls that have brought his spirit human form to this weird aquatic limbo area, and now he must roam the land naked, trying to atone for his whale sins. And once he can prove he's a good human being, through limbo, they will return him to his whale body, and he will be sent to Whalehala, where other whales will cherish him and his soul will live on in harmony forever. And so going back to the co-op portion of the game, it most likely will be the beginning, where Norman Reedus is pregnant with the whale baby, and player 1 obviously controls Norman Whaless, going around and stuff. Player 2 probably going to control the little baby whale. I don't know exactly how whale pregnancies work, but I have about 2 scenarios that work well for gameplay, all right? First scenario, baby Norman Whaless. Player 2 is within the whale's stomach itself. So this could be either a wacky local co-op experience where player 2 is, in Norman Wales' stomach, and they can move the thumbstick around and press various buttons to jerk the whale body in several ways. This is just a minor inconvenience at first. This could also work in online, You're not really going to have like that much fun if you're talking smack to somebody over online while they're controlling your whale body, but cool. Another potential thing is that whale births somehow just they just go over time. So, the whale just pops a baby out, has like that umbilical cord hookup, and then they kind of just keep the cord hooked up until they get too big. And now it becomes more of a brothers, a tale of two sons situation. At about the 15-minute mark is when all the shit will go down. His baby will die, SeaWorld will capture him, and from there it becomes a partial stealth gameplay where you're trying to be the whale, stealthily taking down sea workers from time to time, while also biding your time through training stats such as oxygen, holding length, stomach capacity, and so on and so forth. So really, this is just going to be a major title. It's going to be probably one of the firsts since Echo the Dolphin to let you freely roam the ocean in such a grandiose manner, and it's probably going to stir up some very spiritual conflicts within each player. So Death Stranding is going to be a good game to look out for, It's totally going to play out like all of this, as because I'm just always 100% right on these, even though this is the first one.